Good evening, Niranjan.
Good evening, ma'am.
We'll wait for 5 minutes for other people to join. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, mom.
Good evening. All your portions have been completed.
Ma'am, in DAV, they are teaching heredity, ma'am.
What more?
Ma'am, in DAV, in our class, they are teaching heredity, ma'am. Monohybrid class, they are teaching, ma'am.
I'm not able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
hear.
Same
You.
in my class.
I'm not able. 1 minute. I'm not able to hear you all.
Ma'am, in DAV, they are teaching heredity and evolution, ma'am.
Okay. In the academy? In the academy?
Or bio, ma'am.
No, all subjects. Completed portion? Science?
Chemistry, they are completed, ma'am. Physics, sir is teaching the last lesson, ma'am.
Okay. Till where I have taught you all? Chipko movement, this one is done, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Coaching.
Yes, ma'am.
Water for all only we need to start, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Why other people are not joining? Only 3 are there. Means 2 of you only are there. Okay, we'll wait. So what they are telling, anything they're talking about the portions in the school?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Because we are hearing news that your portions may be shorted still. But there's no any official confirmation. It came in Times of India paper.
Yes,
Anyway,
ma'am. I do so.
most probably will be in May. But there's no any official confirmation from CBSE. After that, I have checked the website also. There's nothing, any official statement or anything was not there from CBSE. So we cannot rely on it, but we'll see. So today will be mostly the last class of biology. Okay, with this we have completed your portion. We'll see what will be the next schedule. So what is your planning like? Both of you are there?
For what planning, ma'am?
Huh?
For what, ma'am, planning?
Means how is the schedule over in the academy? I'm asking that. You don't know?
In chemistry, they are conducting regular tests, ma'am. Other than that, they are not conducting anything, ma'am.
Okay. There will be some revision class or something they told me, but I also don't know much. So any other people subject marks were given biology? Other than last time, whoever I have told.
Ma'am,
I got
I
no
got,
mark.
ma'am.
So how much you got?
Ma'am, 10.5 out of 14.
Or
For 14, I got 13, ma'am.
okay. Why Niranjan? Where you lost your 1 mark?
Ma'am, in the double circulation and in 1 mark, ma'am.
Why we have studied? No, we have done also. You in this. This also we got the exam. I have given. No, why everybody is going wrong in double circulation only? Amrita, where you have gone wrong?
Ma'am, double circulation only, ma'am. I labeled the
Double
part.
circulation.
Yes, ma'am.
Why everybody is going wrong in double circulation? We'll see during the revision. So, shall I start? Again, few people must come. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
They will be slowly joining. It's already 5:10. 6:10, sorry. Okay, today we'll be talking the other part of the topic. We have finished about the forest, wildlife and the forest. Today we'll be talking about the water and the fossil fuels. So we all know water is very, very most important necessary for our existence. And what is the main source of our water?
Ma'am,
What
rain.
is the main source of our water?
Rain.
Rain is the most important source of our water. Okay. So because marine water, we cannot use it for drinking purpose, even for watering for agricultural purpose also. Only the water we use is the fresh water, that is rivers, lakes, ponds, and all those. And for fresh water, what is the main source? The rain is the main source. So we need to save our water because all rainy season is only for few months. Okay, only for example in Chennai, when is the rainy season?
November to December, ma'am.
November
to December.
November and December, only 2 months. Any of you harvested water yesterday? Day before yesterday? Nobody did it.
Yes, ma'am.
Next time onwards, you put a bucket, at least the bucket of water you can use later for watering plants or anything at least. I do it. I'll stay in an apartment, but I do it. I go down and keep it. So we try to let us save water. Okay, so the main source of fresh water is the rain. So we need to save our water because rainy season is not continuous. We don't get rain whenever we want. Okay, so we need to save our water. So to save the water, the government or as a future for the future generations, we have started building dams across rivers, tanks. Many tanks are built, even canals were built, so the river water will be brought into canals and stored also. It is implemented all over world, and also in India we have implemented this from many years and many generations, and still it need to be implemented. Means what is the further projects? Means connecting all the rivers across the India. For example, if you see, we have a Kaveri water flowing in the Tamil Nadu. The Kaveri water can be connected to Krishna. Krishna usually has lot of floods. So always backwater of Krishna comes to Chennai as a drinking water. So that both the canals can be connected, and the Kaveri can be used for the South Tamil Nadu, and this can be used for the North Tamil Nadu. In the same way, other Periyar river and all those also can be, I'm just telling examples. I'm telling all the rivers across the India, if we get connected, if they are connected in some by canals or channels, there will be no water problem or water issues for the future generations. Otherwise, what will happen? Now only is when summer comes, now how much rain it falls, whatever it does, it will be flooded. Many cities are getting nowadays flooded. But still, by the month of March, tankers will be moving all around the city. We need to buy water for drinking, bathing, everything. That is the situation. So those are the future projects. First, we'll be talking about the dams. So what is a dam? Anybody has an idea?
Ma'am, storage spaces for water.
It is a storage of aquate water for irrigation, and also when the dam is open and the water is released outside, they will be used even for producing hydroelectricity. So it's mostly dams are constructed across the rivers only. So these are the various dams like Tehri Dam, Sardar Sarovar Dam, and Bagra Nagal Dam. One is the Tehri Dam is on the river Ganga, Sardar Sarovar Dam is on Narmada, and Bagra Nagal Dam is in Satluj. Okay, so what are the interesting facts about these dams? Nerakund Dam, which is constructed across the river Narmada, is the longest man-made dam. It is around 26 kilometers in length. And Tehri Dam is the Asia's highest dam. Means the storage capacity is very higher the dam, the more will be the storage capacity. So it is 261 meters height. Next, Bagra Nagal Dam is the second highest dam. It is 225.5 meters in height. So these are the interesting facts about these dams. Next, we will be talking about what are the advantages of these dams. So what is the advantage? As we have discussed, adequate water will be stored and water will be released as much as required. During the agricultural reason, usually they will release some amount of water. For drinking purpose, they will be releasing some amount of water. So we can use the water for different in the later whenever required, when there is when we have these dams. Next one is generation of electricity and also continuous supply of water to the city center. But what are the disadvantages of these dams? Anybody heard about any andolans?
Ma'am, Narmada Bachao Andolan.
Yes, who did it?
Ma'am, a woman, ma'am.
Name. Medha Patekar. You remember now? No?
Ma'am.
Yes. Narmada Bachao movement, especially during that Sardar Sarovar Dam construction, what it is it's completely, means a dam is something that where the lower lying areas will be flooded, even the downstream areas will be flooded. So much, although it is good for storage, we need to see the convenience, because mostly they are built between two mountains in a forest areas. Mostly once it is a forest area. So first the ecosystem will be imbalanced. The tribals living in these areas, the peasants, the farmers, most of them will be displaced because there will be a flooding issue always. So a deforestation and also a huge public money will be used. So when this much money, constructing a dam is a very good and it is required. But all these concerns also should be addressed when we are constructing a dam. Okay. See, for example, Narmada Bachao Alam, why it was started? Because that almost around 300 to 400 villages are got displaced. The tribal villages which are present in the which are staying in the banks near to the river Narmada, most of these villages have been displaced and there was no proper rehabilitation given to them by the government. Okay, they did not show what they will. Now there will be lot of deforestation. They did not show any environmental concerns also. So for this, they have started the Narmada Bachao, Narmada Lolan, or whatever it is. But anyway, most or the dam was built and it was opened also. But all these should be considered when we are appropriate place should be chosen, and mostly the place will be between the two hills only. So it should be chosen when constructing the dam. So all these issues, social problems, environmental problems, economic problems, all these problems should be addressed before coming to a conclusion or building a dam. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of the dams. Now coming to the, in addition to the dams, we need to do, we have, before going to the, okay. In addition to the dams, okay, I forgot to put a slide, but please listen. In addition to the rivers, we also have groundwater. Okay, what is a groundwater? That is a table water. Usually every city has its own groundwater because the rainwater will be seeped into the inside the soil and the groundwater is be maintained. So previously, maybe you must have also seen most of the houses, the drinking water, so because before this municipalities, taps, pipes have come, what is the main source of drinking for the people? Where they used to live in a small village or a big village or near a small town, what is the main purpose, source of drinking? Anybody has idea? Anybody heard about wells?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What you heard about wells?
Ma'am, wells, most of them is handmade, ma'am. That is, they will dig deep underground, ma'am. And that some place the water will pierce out, ma'am. So that from that they will use the water for drinking and other
What is
purposes.
that water?
Ma'am, groundwater, ma'am.
That is a groundwater. So previously, the groundwater will be is the main source for drinking, irrigation, everything. But as we are building these concrete jungles, what we can say, though so many buildings, all of them is being, all the land is being put on cement. We put cement. Nobody is now sparing a small piece of land also around the apartment or anything also. They are not sparing anything. Everywhere we see is flooring, cementing. Due to that, what will happen? Although there is a sufficient amount of rain or we have enough amount of rain also, the water will be not able to seep inside the soil, and they will be always, now the groundwater levels are being deep, going down lower and lower. So now what they have been started to do, instead of wells, now what we are doing, we are putting on bores to extract the, by using machines, engines. We are trying to remove the water from groundwater by putting on the bores. How much deeper the bores are going? You know, anybody has idea? Anybody has idea?
4 to 5 feet, ma'am.
4 to 5 feet.
Bores about 10 feet, ma'am.
No. 10 feet is like nothing, yeah. Even 100 feet also somewhere, we are not, 1000 feet also, we are 100 to 1000 feet also, we are not getting water now. 4 feet, 5 feet gone, those days are. Those are 4 and 5 feet, what you know, that pump used to be there. Hand pump. Anybody saw that pump? Hand pump.
Yes, ma'am.
That we beat that with hand. We used to have during a small age. And now I don't know whether they are there or not. That will usually is the 10 feet. All those are gone. Now even if they in some places, even 1000 feet also, there's no groundwater. So Nowadays they are doing groundwater. So another latest now the evolution or what the environmentalists are trying to change the mindset of the people is bringing the old idea, that is the rainwater harvesting. Okay, so for rainwater harvesting, now most of the educated people are putting the rainwater harvesting pits in their house, and it is now for apartments. It is a very compulsory that need to have the rainwater harvesting pits in their house. So we can connect the pipes, whatever the pipes which we get from the top floor, that is the roof. We can connect the pipes and take them to a harvesting pit. Okay, I have shown you a small sample diagram. In your schools also, most of you must be having this rainwater harvesting pits will be available. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Hello, you are able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen the rainwater harvesting pits?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
In the school, it is not there.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
In your apartment complex also?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, try to see, there will be pipes present. Okay, otherwise this is the technique where they will be keeping drainage pipes which will be converted to the pit, to the ground itself directly, or sometimes if there is no ground or anything, we can also take it into the vessels. Usually this is how the rainwater harvesting pit will be there. They will be digging it underground and layering with it is like a tank itself. The water will be going into that pit, and then later we can reuse it. Okay, these are called the rain harvesting pits. So the very ancient methods, different methods are there in the different states of India. The names were given to it. Actually, if you are going to have this lesson in your final exam, this is one of the most important 1 mark question. It definite 1 mark question. It used to be, but please listen. So very ancient methods of harvesting are there, and these methods were given names in their different names in different states. For example, Rajasthan, the rainwater harvesting is known as Kadin, tanks or nadins. In Maharashtra, bandaras or tals. In Madhya Pradesh and UP, they are known as bandis. In Bihar, painis and ahars. In Himachal Pradesh, kuls. Jammu region, ponds. Tamil Nadu, eriks. And Delhi, bavalis. Okay, so these are the different names given for these rain harvesting pits in the different states of the country. So if you are interested, you can by heart these names. It will be useful for you in the future. So what are the advantages of this rain harvesting? So first one is stored water can be used for irrigation and other activities. Groundwater level will be increased. It is easy. It is very easy to maintain. Okay, it's very easy to maintain, and the cost also is very less. Installation, operation, all this is very, very less and requires less amount of power. So reduce the cost of pumping the groundwater also, because the groundwater level will be increased. The groundwater level will be increased, so we no need to use a huge amount of power and engines or machines. Deeper the groundwater, that whatever the engine or we use to pull that water up should be of higher watts or higher capacity. So this can be completely reduced. And another final thing is reduces flooding, erosion, and flow out to the storm water. This is the most important thing which will prevent flooding in the many cities due to this rainy season. You have seen, no other day anybody sees the news channels. You people don't see it. What happened to a famous Hyderabad city?
Ma'am, it's been flooded, ma'am.
Huh?
Ma'am, it's been flooded, ma'am. In the areas and
Just
streets.
overnight heavy rain completely flooded the city. Why? Because all encroachments. Nalas are, they call those, what we call the small ponds. Ponds, because we hear what they call, I don't know. Whatever the ponds are there, no. Those are called as nalas in the Hyderabad. Okay, all the nalas were encroached. So now, because the lakes cannot be filled, all the water came onto the street. Most of the houses, city is more flooding than what Chennai has seen in last 3 or 4 years back. So if we take these precautions and do rain harvest, water harvesting, even the government can have its own rainwater harvesting pits, that such a flooding and erosions will not be taking place. But what we are doing reverse. So what is the advantage of groundwater? So why we require ground? First of all, they don't evaporate. Why? Because they are covered with soil, whereas river water always evaporates. Okay, because they are exposed to hot sun, all the dam, whatever we stored in the dams, the water most, at least there is a percentage of evaporation. Okay, so the water will be evaporated. The water stored in underground petrocollates will enrich the water table and recharge our groundwater sources. So there is a saying, when we used to have a wells, no, if the water level is increased, means the well will not be drying even for 3 or 4 years. Because why is the sand particles will be recharged. When the sand particles are recharged, they will absorb more amount of moisture and also help in the filtration of the water. So this is one of the advantage of the groundwater. Next, it provides moisture to vegetation. It does not provide breeding. And we don't never, although we have wells, never there used to be an issue of mosquitoes or anything. Okay, because mosquitoes and will be seen when there is a pond or artificial lakes. But when we have wells, there is never an issue of mosquitoes or lakes, because the water always, the water will be floating. It is a groundwater. It will be always floating. So it is not a stagnant. So there will be no issue of breeding grounds, and it is protected from contamination by the humans and animal waste and available throughout the year. Well, but what happens to the ponds and lakes? What is the disadvantage? Although they are rainwater harvesting, although they collect water from the rainwater, the main disadvantage with the ponds and lakes is, first we'll be using the water for all purposes. There only the washing will be done. There only the clothes washing will be done. Cows, buffaloes, everything, animals will be washed over there. Especially I'm talking about the villages. And also if you see in the cities, all will become covered by marshy green algae. And it is, the water becomes stagnant, and it is a breeding house for mosquitoes and all this. So it is, we cannot drink that water. We cannot drink it, or also we cannot use it for any purposes. So, and also sometimes the drainage may be dumped into the ponds and lakes. So then ponds and lakes, always it's a groundwater is very important, and we need to preserve this groundwater by rainwater harvesting so that they can maintain the levels. Hope you understood. Any doubts still here?
Understood, ma'am.
Understood, ma'am.
Okay. Next, so we have finished forest, wildlife, and water. Now we are going to the fossil fuels. So what are the fossil fuels, you all know? Speak out. You're tired?
Ma'am, remains of plants and animals that have been
No, I'm
buried
asking
in
the names. I don't want how it's done.
Coal, petroleum, natural gas.
Coal, petroleum, natural gas, many mineral resources. All these are the mostly coal and petroleum, or petroleum products we can call it as, because whatever the petrol we get is not a petroleum is different, petrol is different. Please remember, it is petroleum is a combination of many things. Okay, petrol is one of the filtered form of those products. Okay, so all these are the fossil fuels, and all these are non-renewable. Non-renewable means they cannot be immediately prepared or replenished. Even if we have utilized it, means we have utilized it. It takes many years again to replenish or bring up those reserves in the soil. Okay, so first of all, how these are formed? For example, coal. So how you know about how this coal form? Any idea? Just see the picture and tell you all this, you know.
Ma'am, dead and decaying plants were buried deeply, and due to the pressure created in that area, it has been turned into a dark, rocky material called coal, ma'am.
Yes, dark rocky material. Because of this complete it takes around 300 million years also. Please remember that, to form a coal like thing. So deeper inside, due to accumulation of dead and decaying matter, slowly the dead and decaying matter has developed into a coal. Coal is nothing but a carbon compound. So these carbon compounds, coal is in chemistry terms, if we talk, it is a carbon compound. So this because this dead and decaying organic matter usually has nitrogen. So these will be accumulated. Slowly it will be turning into a form of a black charcoal-like substance or black rock-like substance known as coal. So many other factors like high temperature, high pressure, all this will be slowly affecting the conversion of dead and decaying organic matter to the coal. So this is one of the most important fossil fuel. Okay, and we are using it like anything. So all the fossil fuels will be completed by year 2050. The same thing now with the petroleum and natural gas also. The same thing. The dead and remains of the living organisms lived in the sea. Mostly we get petroleum and gas from where? From the sea and the rivers only. Okay, the best one is Godavari Basin. There we are getting huge amount of natural gas. It's in West Godavari, Andhra Pradesh. Huge amount of natural gas deposits were found, and the Reliance has been just taking it out. That's all. They are utilizing it. So, like the petroleum, you all know, once before the especially the eastern countries, it is full of vegetation. Slowly it has turned into a desert. So during those process, the dead and decaying has completely turned into petroleum, fossil fuel. And because of that, there is a huge amounts of petroleum deposits mostly in the eastern country. Whereas natural gas deposits are formed in India, especially in the Godavari Basin. One is there. Another basin is also there in Bay of Bengal, I think so. And also in Gujarat also there is another basin. Okay. So there around 3 or 4 places we have a good deposits of natural gas. Coal also is present, but not as quality of the coal. What we get is not good compared to the Indonesian coal. Okay, Indonesia has a huge deposits of coal. So whatever the power plants we are using, thermal power plants, usually they procure the coal from Indonesia because the quality of coal is very good. Okay, so these are the formations which takes millions of years to form the coal and the petroleum products and the natural gas. And let us see what is its uses. For example, coal. Coal is used as a firewood. In industries, is used to make dyes, fertilizer, papers. Especially the main use now is it is used in the thermal power plants. This is the fuel used to produce electricity in the thermal power plants. Another advantages of coal is to prepare coke. Coke is of value in the industry because it has a high heat value, higher than any other form of natural coal, and it is mainly used in steel making and a certain chemical process. Please don't take coke as what the drink we drink. Coke is that coke is different. This coke is a higher grade of the coal. Okay, and is mostly used in the steel making and certain chemical process. Okay, coming to the petroleum. Petroleum, you all know, from petroleum we get many products, and most of the products are used as a fuel in automobiles, aeroplanes, ships. They are used as a raw material to produce many of the synthetic fiber, plastic detergents. They are used for heating and lighting, lubricant, and also in some places in generation of the electricity. So these are the different uses of the coal and petroleum. But why we should not use it? Why there should be always a limit to use it? Why we should not all extensively use this for fossil fuels? Why? Because first of all, first harmful effect is they cause air pollution. Because when we burn these fuels, we large amounts of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides are released into the air, and these usually cause air pollution. And due to this air pollution, what will happen? We get many types of respiratory diseases and congestions, and everything will be seen due to this air pollution. So, and also finally, it may lead to global warming. Extensive emission of greenhouses like carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide may be leading to global warming. So due to this, we should judicially use them and also limit their extensivity and exhaustibility so that it will be available for the future generations. So these are the limitations we need to follow when we are using the fossil. We should be seeing that we always should see what is the alternative. Okay, what is the alternative? Means we cannot, now they are trying to replace the petrol with the bioethanol and all those, but still that has not come direct available much in the market. But what we can do is, instead of having each one going in a one car, each one going in each single car, 4 or 5 of us can go in a single car to a office by like a carpooling. So all these measures should be taken so that we decrease the extensive use. So what these are the steps to be taken? Switch off the electrical appliances when not used. Use electrical appliances that are energy efficient like CLP bulbs at homes. Use public transport. Use stairs to climb lift, whatever possible. Use solar cookers, solar panels, all those to limit to preserve the energy resources. Hope you have understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts with this? With the portion as well as this lesson has been completed. Have any doubts?
Clear, ma'am.
Once
No
open
doubts,
your
ma'am.
books. One minute, I'm opening. Open. All of you have opened it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just go through the questions. Any doubts you have, I'll be answering. Well, go through the questions in page number 269. Any doubts? Huh? You have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Go to the next set of questions. Why should we conserve forest and wildlife? I think so. You can write those. All these are generalized questions. Suggest some approaches towards the conservation of the forest. That is making stakeholders, all those stories you need to write. So you can see here, this is the traditional way of harvesting. This is called as Kadin. This system of harvesting is known as Kadin because this is a Kadin Banda. This is a shallow dug well. So they have given 2 or 3 pictures for your understanding. Find out about the traditional systems of water harvesting, that whatever I have given, no, collective one, that one you can write it. Compare the above systems with the potable systems in the hilly areas. Find out the source of water in your region. So these are the generalized questions. Once go through the exercise also. If you have any doubts in the question, please ask me. Please go through. Have you gone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts you have?
No, ma'am.
So with this, let us stop the class. And any doubts if you have when you're reading, you can message me and ask me. You can inform other people also who are not who have not come to the class. We'll see what will be your next schedule. Based on that, I can restart again. We can restart the revision classes or anything else. Check. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Show me your faces. Hi, Niru. Hi, Amrita. Hi, Niranjan.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Amsni. Hi, Akash. So
Hello.
again, we'll meet after some time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ma'am.